Hey, what's up guys, and welcome back to Anime King, and today I'm going to be giving you part 2 of What If Kaguya Was Naruto's Mother. Remember to get this one to 100 like as usual, share this to all of your friends in social media platform, and also stay in tune because after this I'm going to be posting a new episode of What If Naruto Had Multiple People Sealed Inside of Him. So stay in tune for that, and I hope you guys enjoy. And over on Anime King 2, I'm going to be giving you a new episode of Naruto Ancestor, and also What If Naruto Was Trained by Gods. So stay in tune for that. I hope you guys enjoy each and every episode. And remember, if you're new and this is the first time you hear my voice and you enjoy the videos on both Anime King and Anime King 2, go ahead and click that red subscribe button and join both channels and become a part of the Anime King family. And thank you for all for your help and support. And without further ado, let's get straight into this new episode. Start the intro.
I think the girls with their nails done now. Girls with their nails done. I think the girls with their
So, the last part we left off, Kaguya had two sons. One of them she named Naruto Osusuke, and the other one Hagoromo Osusuke. Hagoromo was born with a Rinnegan unlike the original, and Naruto was born with white eyes, nothing inside, just white, but he could see perfectly. On his birth, Kaguya realized that Naruto power surpassed hers even though he was just 3 weeks old, and if he learned how to harness it, he would be far stronger than her. She can also sense a power in the distance, something that has been growing ever since she released the people from the infinite Tsukuyomi. Something is growing and she don't understand. It feels like the power of the Shinji fruit, the fruit that she ate to gain immense power. But why? Why now? As she wants to know. We then had a time skip to the boys were 7 years old as Kaguya started to train them in their power. Naruto, he can harness his chakra around him as he uses it to fly. He also control wind, and he also learned how to control water. Meanwhile, Hagoromo was using his power as well, as he had the almighty push, the absorption path, and more power will be unlocked in the future. Kaguya also sensed the force that she sensed 7 years ago. It is still growing by the day, and it is getting stronger right now. It is far stronger than her, and she still doesn't know what it is yet. So yeah guys, that was basically the last part we left off. You guys can check out space and check it out for yourself. So let's begin this new episode, shall we? We start this new episode with both Hagoromo and Naruto at 13, as the both of them had grown over the years and learned many more things. But right now they were sitting in front of Kaguya as she just told them some news. After raising both of you for 13 years in this monastery, feeding you, clothing you, teaching you, and training you, I have come to a conclusion that in order for both of you to grow ability-wise and as people, it's time for you to leave the monastery. Kaguya said. What? Why do we have to leave? Naruto asked, as he did not understand. I agree with Naruto. Why do we have to leave the monastery? Asked Hagoromo. This monastery, while sheltering you and helping you grow, it has lacked you in knowledge, like how to interact with people and talk to more people your age and see how the world works. It will also help you see why I believe that peace can only be achieved through forceful means. As Naruto looked at Hagoromo, who sighed, as his mother looked at him, as Naruto knew that has been a touchy subject. She wanted to bring peace through force, but he wanted to bring peace in another way. And Naruto wanted peace in a totally different way as well. After another minute of staring at each other, Kaguya then speak again. There's also that there isn't enough space to use devastating techniques, and the both of you need to use more destructive ability without destroying the monastery. She then turned to Hagoromo. Some of your abilities require people, and I don't want you to use your brother as a testing dummy. And you have other paths that I haven't told you about because you need large amount of space. Before we leave though, both of you need to learn to use a weapon so you won't draw attention to yourself. She then picked up something that was behind her, as she unwrapped two katanas as she gave Hagoromo and Naruto one. Hagoromo katana had an orange hilt and the kanji for fire, wind, water and earth and lightning in a circle on the hilt. The cloth on Naruto's hilt was a dark blue, the same shade as his chakra. The other gift they received was a shakyu and a staff, respectively. The shakyu was a large staff with a long ring with 6 other rings on it. Naruto was different. It went up and then it bent around like a M. Both of them were speechless. The weapons were amazing. "Where did you get these?" Naruto asked after taking in the weapons in front of him. "The 2 swords were in the armory when I first arrived here. The 2 other weapons were created by me," Kaguya said. "How?" Naruto asked. "I used an aspect of the Rinnegan to create them both," she said, as this shocked Hagoromo more than Naruto. Now he realized why his mother told him he needed more space to train. But to hear that there was something to create objects like that was a shock. Why didn't his mother told him about this? "Mom, why didn't you tell me about this?" he asked. "Because, Hagoromo, the ability of the Rinnegan that I used to create these weapons, they cost me a lot of chakra and it's not an ability to take lightly," she said as she closed her eyes and let out a sigh of relief. "Naruto, Hagoromo," she said, "I have to tell the both of you something." "Huh? What is it?" the both of them said. "It is time I told you why I started your training. Almost 13 years ago, I felt something gaining power rapidly. I thought someone else had eaten the Shinchi fruit, but I immediately removed those ideas because I already ate the Shinchi fruit years before. After I inspect the bean's energy, I realized it was close to my chakra. In the time I would have investigated, but the both of you were born, and I wasn't about to move around with 2 newborn babies. So I decided to stay here at the monastery. It was only later that I realized what it was and why it was gaining power. It was a Shinshu, and it's coming after its chakra, but not mine, yours," she said, as she looked at the both of them as they were shocked, as they didn't know what to say. How are they going to feel when they find out that a god is coming after them? What are they supposed to do? As Hagoromo then took a deep breath. "How long do we have?" he asked, as he wondered if he and his brother could win against a beast that they face in the future. "I don't know," said Kaguya, as she didn't know how long they will have. "It could be anywhere from a day to several years. The only thing I know that you'll have to face the Shinchi eventually. At least, we will all face it together, right Mom?" said Hagoromo, as he was praying that they have several years to train and get stronger. But Kaguya didn't respond. "Mom," he said. "No, unfortunately Hagoromo, I can't help you defeat the Shinchi. It is not that I don't want to help you, it's rather that I can't help you. Because the fruit I ate contains chakra, my chakra is similar to it, and it won't do any damage against it. All I will be doing is giving it chakra. If I get even close to it, it will absorb my chakra to use against you. And the shock my body will receive from all that chakra being drained out of me will probably kill me. In enough time, my chakra may change, so I will be able to harm the Shinchi, but I believe it will be already awakened by then." As both Hagoromo and Naruto were frozen, they had to take on that unknown beast. And their mother won't be helping them? "Mom," Naruto said, as he had a serious look on his face. "Be honest, do you think me and Hagoromo have a chance to win?" She looked at the both of them before responded. "I believe that no," Naruto said, cutting her off. "I asked you to be honest," Naruto said. "Yes or no, I don't want to hear that you believe or you feel. I want to know the truth," Naruto said. After a few seconds of thinking about it, she gave Naruto an answer, yes, with the right training, as Naruto just nodded at the answer. Hagoromo then spoke. "When will we be leaving the monastery?" "In a few years, because both you and your brother must practice with your weapons." "Alright, that should be it for today," said Kaguya. And right here guys, we're going to have a time skip. Years later, both Kaguya, Naruto, Hagoromo were in a small village, as the 3 of them had on hoods as they saw shopkeepers and children running on the road. I wonder, would my sons act like that if I hadn't taken them and put them in solitude for training for all these years, Kaguya thought, as it was quite strange to see the children around. Meanwhile, Naruto and Hagoromo were looking around at the stalls and the houses and the people. The majority of their thoughts were how weak all of them look, having been trained by their mother, who valued them in strength. While Hagoromo tried to look at this from the people's side that they didn't have chakra or that they weren't trained by their mother and had no one to guide them, Naruto was thinking something else. By Kami, these people are so weak, he thought. I know they don't have chakra, but most of them look like they've never been in a fight for their entire life. It's ridiculous. A small wind attack from me can blow away all of these people. Naruto and Hagoromo's attitude has changed ever since they found out what they have to face in the future. Right now, the both of them are 16 years old, as Naruto had to quell the discussion between his mother and his brother. Hagoromo's goal is to bring this world at peace by just helping people, but mother wants to bring this world to peace by force. In Naruto's opinion, the way Hagoromo wants to get peace is stupid and idiotic. And Naruto knew that peace will be achieved through blood and war and by mistakes. That is how Naruto believed peace will be made, when people realize their own stupidity. Let's go, my sons. His mother's voice snapped him out of his thinking. It's time we go and get supplies, so we can find somewhere to rest for the night. Tomorrow, we must be out of the village by midday if we are to reach our destination that we desire in time. A couple hours later, Naruto was by himself as it was now nighttime, as his mother and brother would find him as he was walking down the alley, as he could sense many eyes looking on him, as it didn't matter to him one bit because they were all weaker than him. As he then felt something behind him. As he felt something enter his robe, he quickly spun around and grabbed the arm. As he looked down, it was a little girl. She was about 7 or 8 with blonde hair. As she tried to move away, but she realized he held her and she couldn't move. She then looked up at him with fear as she started to cry, and then she started to cry like there was no tomorrow, as Naruto didn't know what to do, as he saw another small alley where he could sense no one in there. So he picked up the girl as he tried to hush her as she was still crying. Come on, don't cry, he said, as he didn't know what to do or how to react. So he brought her to the alley and then sit down. He realized the girl stopped crying some minutes ago. As he then turned to look down, she was now asleep. As he looked down at her, he didn't want to wake her. She seemed to be tired, so he just sat there, knowing that his brother and mother will find him soon. An hour later, the girl stirred in her sleep as she slowly opened her eyes. What was I doing? She wondered. Oh yeah, I tried to steal from this guy, and she then froze when she realized she was on something. As she looked up, so, you're awake. As she was now looking at Naruto. Are you going to tell me why you wanted to steal from me? He asked. His voice was so calm, no anger or hate. She started to tremble though, as she thought he was going to hurt her. But he sighed. Look, little girl, I'm not going to hurt you, okay? If I wanted to hurt you, I could have done it when you were sleeping. She then started to mumble something. As she mumbled out, I'm sorry, she said. I'm sorry. Please, don't hurt me, she said to him, as she was still trembling. Naruto wondered what he must do, as he then remembered what his mother used to do to him when he was younger, as he placed his arm around her, as the girl trembled at first, but she realized he was hugging her. It's okay, he whispered. Don't worry, little girl, you're safe, I promise. As she finally realized that he wasn't going to hurt her, she started to relax, as he tried to break the hug, but she didn't want to, as she was holding on to him so tight. No, she said, as she was now crying in his shoulder. Please don't go. As she didn't want this stranger to go, he was nice. He gave her a hug, and he made her feel safe. As Naruto realized she must be from one of the orphanages around here. Her clothes was so torn up. Don't worry, Naruto said, I'm not going anywhere. I just want to get a look at you. She then pulled back a bit as she was still sitting on his lap as she looked up at him. She realized she couldn't see his face because of his hood. Now, are you going to tell me why you tried to steal from me? She then looked down as she mumbled something. What was that? Naruto asked, as she mumbled again. I didn't hear you, he said. I was hungry, she said quietly. Naruto was surprised. How could she be hungry? There was many places around here that sell food. Why wouldn't the shopkeepers just give the poor girl some food? Are you not being fed enough? He asked. Do people do not give you enough food to eat? No one give me anything, she said. I have to steal stuff to eat. As Naruto was now angry, why wouldn't people around here give her food? He looked at her. Why are you on the street? Don't you have an orphanage to go to? I don't know what that is, she said. But I lost my mom and dad, she said. I don't know where they are, she said, as tears were appearing in the corner of her eyes. So she isn't an orphan, just lost, he thought. That's a bit better, he said. As she then asked, Mister, why are you wearing a dress? I thought only girl. As she then paused. Wait, are you a girl? She asked. No, it's not a dress, and I am not a girl, Naruto said. But I see other women wear stuff like that, she said, in an innocent tone. It's not a dress, it's a monk robe. By the way, what's your name, kid? He asked. My name is Akari. What is yours? My name is Naruto. Nice to meet you, Akari. As Naruto looked her over, she seemed quite thin. As most child shouldn't be this thin. She must be starving, he noted. As he then got up as he decided to take her to get something to eat. He smiled to her as he was about to ask her, what does she want to eat, when he sensed that he wasn't alone in the alley. He then turned as he saw it was just some of the low-life that are in this part of the streets. He was about to give him the opportunity to leave when he felt Akiri wrapped her arms around his neck as she started to tremble. As the leader of the thugs then spoke to him, Alright boy, time to hand over all your money. Do that and we won't hurt you or your little friend, the leader of the thugs said. As Naruto heard snickering behind him, there was a lot of them. As he smirked to himself, he then raised his hand but he stopped. While he could kill them and get rid of these scums, he didn't know how that would affect Akiri. So he would just have to knock them out. As his mother had told him that some of these people don't deserve to live. You're just thugs, killers, rapists. Even Hagoromo knew that some people had to die to bring peace to this world. He wouldn't go around in a rampage killing people, but he understood why he needed to kill. But he didn't want Akira to see this, so he decided to not kill them. But first, he had to get Akira off of him so he can move freely. Akira, he whispered in her ear, don't worry, I won't let them hurt you, I promise. Just sit right here and I'll deal with them. Akira nodded as Naruto placed her to sit down, as he picked up his staff. You know, he said, I'm going to give all of you a concussion. As Naruto then raised his staff as he pointed at the leader, a wind blast came out and lit the leader right in his stomach as he was sent flying as he crashed into the wall. As he passed out instantly, the others looked at Naruto with wide eyes. Get him, they said, as all of them rushed forward as they tried to hit him with various weapons and punches. But Naruto simply tapped his staff on the ground as all of them were blown away by a massive wind gust as they were sent flying and crashing through the stone wall, knocking them out. As two more was left, as one of them threw a very large stone at Naruto, but Naruto caught it as he looked at the stone, as he squeezed his hand as the stone turned into dust. As the both of them looked at him like, let's get out of here, another one said as the both of them ran off. As Naruto turned to Akiri, whoa, so cool, she said. And that stick, it's amazing, as Naruto's sweat dropped when she called his staff a stick. Teach me how to do that. Please, please, I promise, I'll be good, please, she begged, as she ran up and tugged at his robe, as she reminded him of him when he was much younger. Sorry, Akiri, maybe some other time, he said, ruffling her hair. In the meantime, let's find your family. Do you know where your dad works? He asked. No, she said, but one time mom said she wanted to play with some metal in dad's metal shop, she said. Does that help? He must be a blacksmith, or at least work with metal. Okay, I think I know where your dad works, Naruto said. Really? You do? She said. Yes, he said. As she then smiled at him, she then realized something. "Hey Naruto." "What is it?" he asks. "Can I see your face?" Or, "Are you ugly?" she asks. As Naruto's sweat dropped, she didn't even know that she was insulting him. She was so innocent and she don't really know anything. He just chuckled to himself at that. Naruto brought his hands up to the top of his hood as he pulled it back. As she saw his face, he had beautiful white hair that went back down in his back, and white eyes that were similar to his mother's, but she had a visible pupil but he had none. Thank God for a mother illusion, Naruto thought, as Kaguya placed an illusion on him that made no one can see his horns. "Happy now?" Naruto asked. "Yes," she said, as he put on back his hood. "Now, let's go find your family." As she held on to his arm, as he was holding his staff in his other arm, as he walked out of the alley. An hour later, Naruto had Akari over his shoulder, as she got tired and went to sleep, as he was now visiting the 5th blacksmith. As Naruto knew that the time was getting late, and he had to go see his mother and his brother again, or his mother would get angry asking him where he was. As Naruto then wake up Akari to see if these people were her family. The moment he entered a shop with Akari, something fell on the ground. As Naruto turned to see a middle-aged man with brown hair and brown eyes, as he was shocked. As he was behind the counter, "Akari?" he whispered. "Akari!" he yelled as tears were coming out of his eye. As Akari head snapped forward. "Dad? Dad!" she yelled as Naruto put her down, and she ran to her dad as he grabbed her and hugged her. As Naruto stayed away and let the father and daughter have their moment. After a minute or two, he moved Akari to the side so he could see and thank the person who brought her home. Both him and his wife thought that they will never see Akari again. His wife was actually back at the house crying, as they've been looking for her for a long time now. "Thank you for bringing Akari home. If there's anything I can do for you or anything you want, just take it," he said. "It is the least both me and my wife can do for you after bringing my daughter home." As Akari fell asleep in her father's arm. "It's okay," said Naruto, "you don't have to give me anything." Naruto insisted as he had to get back to his mother and his brother before they skinned him alive for being so late. He knew they wouldn't look for him unless it was late, and now the time was getting late. "Please, I must insist that you take a weapon or something. It's to pay you back for saving my daughter." "Well," said Naruto, "I can actually use some scrap metal for something." "Oh sure, that would be great. I have plenty to give," the man said. Meanwhile, Hagoromo was with his mother as they were in front of the inn they were going to stay in for tonight, as the both of them were waiting for Naruto as they weren't talking. Seeing that the both of them weren't on really good terms, Hagoromo wanted to bring peace to the world by love, and his mother is trying to prove to him that he can't do that. He must bring peace by force. But Hagoromo is trying to prove to her that he can do it by love. He was snapped out of his thoughts when he felt something approaching him. It was Naruto Chakra. He could sense it from a distance away. Naruto has grown powerful over the years. Naruto's chakra is 2 times Hagoromo's and 2 times his mother as well. And it was also very dense. But it was still smaller than the Shinshi own chakra. And the Shinshi was gaining chakra in a fast rate, so it will be stronger. As both Kaguya and Hagoromo turned as they saw Naruto with a smile on his face, they couldn't see the top half of his face because of the hood, but they could see the bottom half as they saw a smile. Not a nice or peaceful smile, it was a dangerous smile. "What's with the smile, Naruto?" Hagoromo asked, as he saw the smile on Naruto's face. "Why are you accusing me of something? I am just happy," Naruto said, as both Hagoromo and Kaguya crossed their arms knowing that something was behind that smile. "Oh fine," he said. "I will show you when we enter our room." 5 minutes later, they were in the room. "Okay Naruto, what's with the grain?" Kaguya asked, as Naruto went into his robes and revealed 30 or so metal balls, as all of them were smooth and round. "What's so special about these?" asked Hagoromo, as the both of them were surprised when Naruto's eyes started to glow a dark grey as all of the metal balls rose up and circled around him. As the both of them were shocked, Moving metal was something even beyond the Rinnegan, so to see him doing like that, they were beyond shock. They knew that Naruto had created sub-elements over the years, like lava and ice, but metal? This is a weapon that doesn't need to be held, Naruto said, as all the balls were hovering above Naruto's head, as all the metal balls then came together, as they created a giant metal ball, and then it started to change. It started to get pointed like a knife, as they then break apart, revealing 4 long sharp knives. They were as long as Naruto's arms, as they came down, as they rested on Naruto's wrists. As he looked at his hands, "I'm going to make dual wrist blades," he said. "The longer one is for battling with katana, and these smaller ones is for surprise attacks and killing silently and deflecting attacks." "So, what do you think?" Naruto asked. As Kaguya smiled, Naruto always do something to just shock her, as Hagoromo was also impressed, even though he created something called Foin Jutsu a couple years back, which he could seal objects inside of a scroll and carry that scroll around and then unseal it and remove the large objects. But Naruto was always impressed in him. Time skip. The beast has finally awakened. Both Naruto and Hagoromo and Kaguya could sense the power dreading over the land, as Naruto and Hagoromo knew that the beast will come for them, as they had to go somewhere to have their final battle with the beast, so no civilians could get into the way. As Naruto flew over a wasteland, that he realized him and Hagoromo would take on the beast here, as the both of them said goodbye to their mother as they headed off to the destination. As both of them traveled to the destination to face off against the beast with holy power, they only knew one thing: it would be a battle of the ages. Sometime later, both Naruto and Hagoromo were standing on cliffs as they were looking off into the distance, as the both of them couldn't believe it. The giant beast was approaching them. It had 10 tails swinging behind it as it was stomping on the ground, creating giant craters. It had their Sharingan and the Rinnegan combined. It reminded them of their mother's eye, and it had overwhelming chakra leaking from its body, as Naruto and Hagoromo could now feel the beast's full power. "So this is it," said Hagoromo. "It appears so, brother," said Naruto. "It appears we have awoken the Jubi," said Naruto. "The 10 tails." You just made up that name," said Hagoromo. "Yeah, because it has 10 tails swinging behind it." "And I don't have time to think of a smart one," said Naruto, as some massive breeze struck their clothes, blowing it back. "Naruto," said Hagoromo, "no, whatever happened in this battle, you will always be my brother. And if I had any other way to die, it would be at your side in battle." "You will always be my brother as well, Hagoromo," said Naruto. As Naruto then smirked, "Let's give it our all." As Naruto flies straight up into the air, as the Jubi watched him, as Hagoromo thrust his arm forward, as an earth spear came from the ground and struck the Jubi, but he absorbed the chakra off the earth spear. It just turned into crumbles. Hagoromo frowned at this. They had prepared for the possibility that the Jubi could absorb chakra, and it seems it can. And the fact that it could absorb chakra seriously reduced their options. As the Jubi turned his eye to Hagoromo, he was happy. He just distracted it, as Naruto was now flying up into the air. As Naruto came out of the sky like a meteor, as he smashed his fist into the top of Jubi's head, knocking it down as its face slammed into the ground. Hagoromo watched as the beast's head slammed into the ground. It seemed like it could only absorb chakra that it knew was coming. Unexpected attacks could work. But now that they've proved to the Jubi that they were an actual threat, they doubt that they will get another surprise attack. As Naruto fly back to Hagoromo and he landed beside him, it seems like he can absorb chakra that his nose is coming, but if he gets caught off guard, we can attack it with chakra. As both of them turned back to see the Jubi getting up, as there wasn't even a scratch on his head, despite that Naruto hit him with an enhanced chakra fist. As the beast then let off a very mighty roar that could shake the heavens itself. As the ground then started to shake, as the clouds were twisting, swirling towards their direction. as the beast brought down one of his tails, smashing it into the earth, creating a mighty shock wave as Hagoromo and Naruto had to jump out of the way. Both of them had to dodge again as a massive tail came at them again, as it destroyed the ground on impact. As the Jubi brought down his tail again, but the both of them were ready, as Hagoromo launched several small metal projectiles, and Naruto, purple lightning coursed him through his body as he let out a beam of purple lightning. As the beast let out a roar as he was annoyed for the brothers were hurting it. As it then turned to the one that caused him the most pain, Naruto, as he opened his mouth and unhinged his jaw, as he formed a black and purple cone of pure chakra in front of his mouth. The attack then shot at Naruto like a high level beam, as the beam digged through the earth and slapped right into Naruto, taking him with it, as everything then exploded as Hagoromo saw a giant crater. He then looked, there was nothing there, including his brother, as Hagoromo felt nothing at first, but then he felt rage, unlike anything he had ever felt before. This thing just killed his brother. As Hagoromo raised his hand, "Almighty push," he said, as the force behind the almighty push blew the Jubi away, as Hagoromo didn't give it time to rest as he dashed forward with incredible speed, closing the distance in seconds, as he whipped his hand forward right in front of his eye, as purple chains came out of his hands as he started to wrap around the Jubi, wrapping around his tail, restraining it. One of the tails wasn't wrapped up as it swung at Hagoromo, as Hagoromo just closed his eyes waiting for the pain. But guys, I'm going to end this episode right here. If you want to see the next part of this, you already know what to do. Like, subscribe, comment down below, turn on that bell notifications they posted. Remember to share to all of your friends in social media platform. And stay in tune for the rest of the what is coming your way today, guys. But for now, I'm out. Peace.